Hey guys, yeah, it's about a little after 9. Today it's 9:16 in the evening while I'm recording this and charging this at the same time. But I wanted to come on here because of the fact that tonight basically was the final Smackdown of the new year. Now, I didn't get to watch it because, of course, I was working and I was riding the bus. I didn't get to watch it. Now, I could have watched it on my phone, but, I just felt like, no, I basically, just felt like, waiting it out and, see what the other reactions would be before I go back and watch the highlights or even watch the show completely itself. Now, basically, the big news items that came out of SmackDown tonight was, of course, we had John Cena's first match in over a year. Last match he had was at SummerSlam 2021 against Roman. And then tonight he made his return against Roman in a tag match where he teamed with Kevin Owens against Roman and Sami Zayn. Now, even though they did win the match, that being Cena and Owens, that wasn't the only newsworthy thing that came out of tonight. That wasn't the only newsworthy thing that came out of tonight. You see, what also came out tonight was the fact that Charlotte Flair made her return. And of course, there's going to be some people that are not happy about it, but let me ask you this. What other major star does SmackDown have outside of Rhonda Rousey? And I'm not talking, just the, heel-wise or anything, but what major star from a babyface perspective do they have? They don't have anybody. They don't have anybody. I mean, Becky, she's on Raw. Bayley's on Raw. The only exceptions out of that would be Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Rhea Ripley's on Raw. I mean, basically, the thing is, SmackDown doesn't have any real credible babyface women wrestlers or women superstars. You might say, oh, well, Shotzi could be that. Yes, she can. She definitely has a following. You could say, well, Raquel can be that. Yes, she can. You could say Tegan Knox could be that. Yes, there's no doubt. Liv Morgan, no doubt, could be that too. In fact, she's proven it. And now even with the crazed attitude persona she has, she can do it too. Like I said, she's proven it. Shotzi, Tegan, they all potentially can do it. Raquel, when she gets 100%, she could probably do it. There's no denying they have the talent and the depth, or at least they're getting to that point with the depth and the talent. But it's more along the lines of none of the women that I've mentioned, are at that level yet. None of the women that I've mentioned are at, that upper echelon, if you will, that Charlotte Flair's at. And we don't know what Sasha Banks' status is going to be. We don't know if she's fully going to be gone, officially from WWE within a few days, at the beginning of the year, or if she did sign a contract that allows her to basically do what she's been wanting. Not just, get the same pay amount, if you will, that Charlotte and Becky and all of them get, but also be able to, at the same time, while competing with WWE, also compete in Japan, when she's not being utilized. We don't know. We won't know until this month. We won't know until between Wrestle Kingdom and the Royal Rumble. That's where we'll get our answer. Because, yeah, there might be a good chance she appears at Wrestle Kingdom to confront Kyrie, But if Kyrie's going to probably be an entrant in the Women's Rumble with the IWGP Women's title, you can't tell me Sasha won't be either. So there's something going on, and we just don't know all the details just yet. But with that said, who else do you have? I mean, some of the ladies you probably want, to be that top babyface, that type of epsilon babyface, right now are competing in NXT. I mean, Roxanne Perez, Rock-C, if you will, that's ROK-C. She's there. I mean, you probably had the door open for Mandy Rose to make a return, make a debut up there, and probably become the face of the division, maybe potentially the babyface, basically make Toxic Attraction a babyface group, which, I don't know if that would work if you keep them, the way they are, but the baby faces, I don't know. You had that potential, but that's out the window. Chelsea Green, if she's coming in and probably going to be the new leader of the group, she could be a possibility to be a face, but again, she could be portrayed as she was before she left, and as she's been portrayed outside of WWE as a heel. We don't know. We don't know, what else is out there, and so what better solution do you have? What other solution do you have? And the fact that basically, let's take a look at the news that surrounded Charlotte's return tonight. Charlotte made her return after Rhonda beat Raquel, thanks to interference by Shayna. She beat her, and then basically let her cockiness get the best of her by calling out anybody to face her for the title again, because she's basically in that storyline mode of, oh, we fighters are better than you wrestlers kind of deal. That you wrestlers are a joke, especially the women wrestlers. But what happened as a result? What happened was the person that answered the challenge was, Charlotte. Charlotte was the one that answered the challenge. Now, I know some of you might say, well, Brian, you kind of missed another name that's on SmackDown right now, and that's Emma. Tenille Dashwood. And I'm not saying Emma, if you will, couldn't be a major star. But she just came back. It's gonna take her time to get over. And if she is gonna have a decent storyline here with Riddick Moss, Madcap Moss, who apparently I think they're in a real life relationship, if that's gonna help elevate both of them, then maybe, yeah, she could be that breakout star that SmackDown needs for the women's division. But anyway, like I said, outside of that, who else do you have? And that's why Charlotte made her return tonight when Rhonda got cocky and basically said, hey, I'll take on anybody else, because again, like I said, they're putting her in the storyline where her and Shayna feel like, hey, we're better than everybody else because, hey, we're real fighters and you're just fake wrestlers or just pretend fighters. That's why Charlotte came out and basically beat her clean, for the title, basically, which is on the main roster, is her 14th championship, and total altogether, when you include NXT, is her 16th championship. So yeah, she is a 16-time champion altogether when you count NXT, but if you take NXT out of the equation, she's a 14-time champion on the main roster. Now, you might ask yourself, well, what's the news that is connected to Charlotte in all this? Well, it's simple. You see, Charlotte, I would assume was not really in the plans. I would assume. Now, I would assume she was going to make a return tonight, but I don't think it was going to be a return that involves her winning the championship. I don't think so. I think she was going to make a return, maybe confront somebody, maybe Rhonda, we don't know, and declare herself an entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble. That's what I'm thinking. And that's what I'm thinking probably was the original plan. And I might be right, I might be wrong. But in this case, though, it looked like whatever the original idea was for her return, whether it was tonight, whether it was the first Smackdown of the new year, whether it was the Rumble itself, that all changed when word came out basically that the proposed Becky Lynch-Rhonda match was off. Yeah. You see, they were planning, WWE apparently, originally, to do Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, but now that's off. Now some could say, oh, well, the reason it's off is because that was a Vince move, that was a Vince idea, and Triple H wants to go in a different direction. Look, even when Triple H took over, as head of creative and all that, there were still plans to go forward with Lynch and Rousey. That was the plan. That was the whole plan. Even when Hunter took over, the idea was to still go with Lynch and Rousey at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title. That was the plan. But apparently something happened behind the scenes, I'm not really sure, we haven't gotten all the details yet, to where basically Rhonda does not want to work with Becky. It's like Becky probably is willing to do this, but Rhonda isn't. Rhonda doesn't want to work with Becky. And it's not just because they don't like each other. I think it's the fact that Rhonda, in my opinion, doesn't want to lose to Becky. Because she knows that's probably the end result. She's going to face Becky at WrestleMania, and this time, without controversy, lose cleanly to the man. And she didn't want to do that. And, you add that on with her personal, I guess you could say, disdain for Becky, outside of the ring, then, and yeah, obviously she doesn't want to do business. To paraphrase what a lot of people say about Hulk Hogan, for her, it didn't work for her. Well, basically, she kind of, in a sense, quoted Hulk Hogan by saying, "Oh, that don't work for me, brother." And that was about it. Basically, it don't work for her. It don't work for her brother, or in this case, it don't work for me, sister. That's basically what the whole situation was. Well, that's in my opinion. That she probably pulled something like what people say Hogan would usually pull behind the scenes. Basically saying that don't work for me. And you could probably see why I guess they booked Rhonda to lose the belt tonight. Because, hey, if she's not going to do business, put her petty differences aside with Becky, Becky Lynch, and do business, the correct way, for WrestleMania, then why even have the belt on you? Why have the belt on you if you're not going to do business with Becky? And some people pointed out that even though Charlotte and Becky's relationship may not be the same as it used to be behind the scenes or even on camera, they are professional enough to put any differences they have aside to work with each other, to make magic in the ring. And if adding a bit of realism to that match to where they can actually go off on each other a little bit, at the same time, it's more than worth it. It's more than worth it. You add that extra fuel to the fire so that, again, even though they may not personally like each other like they used to, them being professional enough, they will be willing to put their differences aside and say, hey, we'll do business. We'll do business with each other. And they know by doing business with each other, they can let out a bit of aggression or frustration that they have with each other by getting a little bit more stiffer and hard-hitting than usual. But again, this is what it sounds like to me with Rhonda is she doesn't want to do, she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to be a professional and say, hey, I'll put my difference with Becky aside and I'll do business with her. She doesn't want to do it. So I'm assuming what happened is Triple H went up to her and said, look, if you're not going to do business, with Becky, for WrestleMania, then we can't have you holding this belt. Now, apparently there are other rumors going around. Like, one of the matches being talked about is Ronda Rousey against Rhea Ripley. And you'd have to assume that means either Rhea Ripley's turning face or Ronda Rousey's turning face to make that happen. But how you get there, we don't know. We don't know, but it sounds like that could be, one of the ways they go. One of the ways they go. It looks like someone's flying a drone out there right now, out in the sky. But like I said, that could be one way they go. We don't know. We don't know how they're going to get there. But yeah, it seems that, Rhonda, the reason she lost the belt tonight, the reason Charlotte returned probably a lot sooner than expected, it's because Rhonda didn't want to do business correctly with Becky for WrestleMania. Didn't want to be a professional like she should be. And if that's the case, as people have mentioned, or even asked, what's the point of even having the belt on her? There is no point. There is none. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the whole situation. What do you think happened? Do you think, Rhonda just didn't want to do business? Or what? Or do you think maybe they'll work something out and they will still do business? Let me know down below, and I will talk to y'all later. I am home now.